Yes.
An event?
What do you call it?
Not an event. Beyonce releasing a new album is an event. Maybe an incident.
That's what the placeholders say.
So?
We don't want to scare people.
Did you hear? That ship is well and truly sailed. People are scared. And I don't think I describe it a massive kaboom like it's some special shopping discount is going to reassure anyone.
Tonight is the opening night for our play, Tell It Slant. It's our press night. It's our first night with critics. So we're all a little bit excited, a little bit tense, but really, really looking forward to getting to show for people to see the show and really see how brilliant it is and how fantastic the actors are going to be with it.
Of course, and tell us a bit of the idea behind Tell It Slant, because you've decided to reverse the genders to play with that.
Yes, well, I'm a big fan of romantic comedies, always have been, but let's face it, they are, a lot of them, fundamentally pretty gross in what they say about how men and women are supposed to behave. So I thought, I'm going to write this in such a way that I don't have to worry about that. I'm not going to say who's a man and who's a woman, and then we'll just mess around with it in rehearsal. So we have a central couple. The way we're doing it, one's male, one's female, and they swap roles every night. So my two actors have got one hell of a challenge for them, but they're doing fantastically. I'm really proud of them. But how comfortable we are seeing a woman step up and be the boss, or a man be quite vulnerable. It's particularly in relation to a woman, to someone who's in love with. It's really quite interesting to see that that's more different than you would ever have expected.
Yes, as soon as.
Hello, press office, Sam speaking. Yes, we're aware of an event. We're planning to be issuing something soon.
I gave these two people the worst possible day a pair of press officers could ever have. So this is me thinking of every single awful thing that could happen and being like, I'm going to make them happen in the same, 15 minutes. So I will say I've not had a day quite that bad myself, which I'm very relieved, but I have worked in a press office. I have been the person on the other end of the phone line when someone rings up and goes, I have this really difficult question. I've definitely had that experience.
We're like your dad, okay? People want to laugh at the fact that we're not funny, and then for us to go on being a stable, reliable, boring presence in their life and all being well, they should never have to think about us at all.
Is that an official statement, or...?
Sorry.
I think when we last spoke, I was saying that there's never been a time where you hear the word fake news. However, news has been around forever, so I feel that even though it's particularly current with all of the comments that there have been on social media recently about some of the recent events, I'll not say which ones, so you can interpret what they might be. I also think that it's a bit of a timeless story, because news has always existed, and people have always had this kind of thirst for wanting to know what happens and the truth behind events. So yeah, it's never been more relevant, and it's really exciting to be part of something that is, a story that everyone now will be excited by.
Of course, and we've spoken about it before. You've got quite an incredible story yourself, so I wanted to ask you about that again. What happened a few years ago? You were 24, and you got, momentous news. Momentous in a bad way. What happened?
Yeah, well, when I was 24, I started having seizures and was diagnosed with a brain tumour, which was quite a shock. I was fit and healthy as far as I was concerned. I literally had a seizure, and 24 hours later I was diagnosed with having a large brain tumour. You say I was 24, but I don't think that's news that any person can prepare themselves for. And you have to be really grateful for the fact that I have amazing friends, family who got me through that, and I wouldn't have been able to do it without them. It feels like a really long time ago, which is something that I never thought that I'd be able to say. And thank God for all the amazing doctors and nurses and teams who work for the NHS, who this is their work. I'm really lucky. I get to come and play in a theatre. That's my work. I get to play with audiences, work with great scripts. But those people, they have real life and death jobs that they do, and I don't think they get anywhere near enough credit. But hopefully they know how grateful I am. And I'm so happy that I am one of the lucky people who have had an amazing recovery. I had incredible treatment at the National Hospital for Neurology and Neurosurgery, and it's also one of the reasons why I'm really, really chuffed and thrilled to be involved in this production, because though I've done bits and pieces since then, it's been a bit of a slow return to acting, and this is the first full play that I've done since that news in 2015. So it feels quite significant to be part of this. And there's no, why make it easy for myself, or why make it easy, Maev, to the right, I should say, because not only is it playing one of the lead roles, but actually because we switch every night, it's such a gift to be able to play 2 roles. So my return back to acting has been one of the most exciting challenges to date.
I mean, there were probably times when you didn't know if you'd be back on stage or be back standing, because it was even that part of your recovery as well, to learn how to walk and stuff like that. So to be back on stage shows that you are one of the lucky ones, really.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you know much about the statistics of brain tumours and neurological problems, but it's 1 in 6 people in the UK is diagnosed with a neurological disorder. That's increasing to 1 in 5. Not all of those people have happy endings, and I don't really know why I was one of the people that did have a happy ending, but I try not to take it for granted in any way, shape or form. Since 2015, I've done loads of fundraising for the charity that saved my life, and then that led to a few years later doing the London Marathon, which was really hard. But it raised £10,000 for the hospital, so it was well worth it. You say what kind of gets you through it? Someone who never ran before in anything in my entire life is the fact that this time a year ago I couldn't stand up. So, you know, run through the pain, do it for someone else, do it for a bigger cause. It's one of those things that you just kind of have to live every day and just be grateful to be here. And at one point, yeah, who knew what the future held? It was very dark, and I wake up every day and I'm so happy to be alive that I'm so pleased that those times are very, very far behind me. And particularly, acting's a tough job. It's a tough gig. Like, you don't know where your next job's going to come from. You know, you constantly have to do the hustle. And for a few years, that wasn't on my mind because I was focused on my health. I was focused on giving back to the hospital. And it's brilliant to be in a place now where I have the time, energy, health and fitness to be able to go full throttle at it all now. And I hope everyone enjoys the show. Please come see it.